Time, we're tied at 43. Jacksonville still has one timeout left, but John Chaney has used all of his.
Right, and that's important for, well, it's important for Jacksonville, certainly, in case Temple were to do something here with a score. But the problem it creates for Temple is that if you can't get the ball in bounds, you know you're having trouble with the 5-second count. You now can't call him. If you're having trouble with the 5-second count out on the perimeter, you know, being played within 6 feet, now it puts a lot of pressure. Chaney put the pressure right where it belongs, right on the players.
Two schools with great tradition. Jacksonville, in its 5th NCAA appearance. Temple has been here 11 times.
I like that. They're lining up right in that I formation, which puts a lot of pressure. You know you can always come back and get the ball.
Black roll inbound.
Okay.
DeCo. Tied at 43.
Now, what generally happens, Nick, is they wait too late to get into it sometimes. Let's see.
Okay, here's Blackwell. Good feed to Perry. Blocked. Loose. Whistle. Foul. Temple went right down into the lane. Jacksonville played the defense. John Chaney says, hey, how about a goal, Tim?
He's saying
there was none called, Jim.
Nope, he was saying it was going on the way up. That's exactly what the official told Ed Coe when he came over to him. He said, no, sir.
Happens. So there he is. Out of Freehold, New Jersey. Hometown of Bruce Springsteen, by the way. So Perry goes to the line. This is Tim Perry on the line for Temple. He can't get it. The ball is loose. We're going to go for overtime. Here's a long desperation shot. It misses. And we'll play overtime in Dayton.
Time is at the end of regulation when it's an overtime. Both teams going because of the extension of the second half, so they're going the same way, Mick. Each team gets an additional timeout now.
That's Howie Evans with the ball. And Jacksonville's in a man-to-man defense.
First score is critical. First score critical.
That's Coe. First score in the second half important, but nothing like the first score in overtime. Good. They come way out front, and
he can grab it. He can grab
the ball.
I thought he was going to let it go out of.
Looking toward the sideline.
Oh man!
It wasn't an over and back because there was none, but the sideline was his enemy.
Right.
He played 40 seconds in overtime without a score. Tied at 43. Kevin Clifton. Evans from the top of the circle. By Perry. Well, Perry atones for the missed free throws. He scored 7 now, and it gives Temple a 45-43 lead.
Well, that makes up for a few of the free throws, doesn't it? Oh, a travel.
A travel out in mid-court by the Dolphins. Beat Mississippi Valley by 7. Low posting to Perry on the baseline, and Perry gives now Temple a 2-point lead, and Perry has owned this overtime, Jim, with 4 points.
Now, would you like to explain that to me, how a guy can make a shot like that with somebody right in his face and he can't make a free throw?
It's a 50% field goal, only 59% from the foul line. Smith, no. Loose ball, whistle, foul is going to be called. Going to go against the Dolphins. Everything right now going against the Dolphins.
In Jacksonville's favor.
Perry is 1 of 7 today from the foul line. Big free throw. And this crowd gives him quite an ovation. 10 points for Tim Perry. This is Mick Hubert, along with Jim Gibbons in Dayton, Ohio. 2:46 left in the overtime. Temple has taken a 4-point hooting it up. 53-46, Temple by 7.
Nick, if you saw on the monitor a few minutes ago before that timeout, Bob Wenzel talking to John Moroz, just so our viewers will know, what he was talking about and concerned about was that he thought there was a 5-second count out here in front on Howie Evans, and he was asking John Moroz how come, and Moroz said that he wasn't within the 6 feet. You've got to be within 6 feet to have that count.
21-10, and they'll be forced next year, particularly in the Sun Belt Conference.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I was. They won 3 straight games in that tournament, back-to-back, in 3 straight days to win it, and that takes a lot. They beat Old Dominion and UAB, and that's no fluke.
So the final seconds counting down here in Dayton. 10 seconds remaining for the Temple Owls. They'll advance into Saturday's next game against the winner of
5-second count. There it is.
Game. There is a 5-second count. Our next game, Kansas taking on North Carolina A&T, and so Temple will meet the winner of that game. 4 seconds remaining. Murphy will run it up. He'll go in and slam it, but it's all academic. Give Murphy the hoop. 22 points for Murphy in the game, but Temple has won it. The final score is Temple 61, Jacksonville 50. Just tell it.
On the season, opponents normally shoot about 46% against Villanova. Presley gets the basket and the foul.
And Dale Carey with his 3rd personal foul, so he's going to have to sit down the rest of the first half.
9:46 left in the first half. This is John Sanders along with Jack Gibbons, and we welcome you to the Assembly Center at LSU in Baton Rouge.
Well, with the problems that Virginia Tech has had so far in this ball game, to lose Carey with over 9.5 minutes to go in the first half, you can just imagine how bad it's going to get from here on.
A 15-point Villanova lead. Beecher down low. That's blocked. Bobby gets it back in the lane, and he's fouled. Once again, it is Mark Plansky who has played a tremendous defensive first half. 17-point Villanova lead. Nobody would have expected that. Jensen looking for 6 out of 6, doesn't get it. Phil Williams picked up the rebound. Back come the Hokies, led by their point guard, Johnny Fort, a sophomore from Gary, Indiana. Inside, Beecher can't control. It's out of bounds. They've called a foul to control the boards and the scoreboard. It's 27-13, 14-point edge. It's been as much as 17 here in the first half. Plansky, the maker, slipped out of his hands, goes to Johnny Fort. So now the Hokies will go to work. Here's Colbert. Has to pull it back to Caesar. They're without Del Curry.
Villanova that time doing a good job getting back defensively. You won't see a team get many fast break opportunities against the Villanova defense.
Rebound to Villanova. Massey rips it out of there. 7:27 left first half. 27-13. The Wildcats have led all the way in this one. Plansky. Here's Jensen. He's 5 out of 6 from the field in the first half. Remember his great shooting in last year's NCAA championship. He was 22 seconds on the shot clock. They'll reset the offense.
Well, this is Villanova's game right here. They play that half-court game. They shoot good shots, as you saw right there. That's the way they like to play it.
Wilson has 7 points. Villanova leading by a bunch. It's 29-13. Caesar trying to put some pressure on Wilson. That's tough to do.
Well, he handles the pressure well.
Villanova just playing beautifully offensively. Wilson too hard with that one. Beecher with a rebound.
Court pressure now to force the action, force some turnovers. That's the only way they're going to be able to get back into this game, is to play that pressure defense. So far, it has not worked for them.
5 minutes and 33 seconds left first half. Villanova by 13. It's 29-16 here in Baton Rouge. Plansky is covered hard by Anderson. Now double team. Jensen kicks it over to Wilson.
Well, you're seeing a smart ball club right here in Villanova. They're not coming unraveled here. They're playing well.
Almost ran down Wilson. Wilson keeps it. Jensen will track it down.
And Jensen did the right thing. He pulled the ball back out, got his team under control. He's been there before.
Wyatt Maker almost threw that one through him.
Villanova moves the ball so well. They never stand. Once they make the pass, they're moving without the ball, and that's good, fundamentally sound basketball.
Jensen to Plansky, too hard, tipped up. And the Hokies come down with it. Throw it away. Wilson makes the interception. Once again, Anderson with a bad pass, trying to get it back to the middle, trying to get the break going, something they haven't been able to do.
Well, you can't run the break against Villanova. They do such a good job converting defensively that it's difficult to throw that pass in traffic. They're always there, and you've got quickness at every position.
Third time these two teams have played. Both victories in the series belong to Villanova. Massey along the baseline to Plansky. He's slammed by Beecher.
Good ball movement. Once again, you have to keep pointing that out. Villanova moving so well without the ball. They're looking at the floor, seeing the floor well. getting the ball to the open player.
2 fouls on Bobby Beecher. 2 minutes 53 seconds left first half. It's been all Villanova in the opening period of play. Plansky will go to the line. Mark has 1 field goal in the game. You can see he's a good foul shooter. He's made 78 out of 94. Does not get the roll on that one.
He's worked hard, though. He has 5 rebounds. He's worked hard defensively. Hasn't scored many points. 1 of 2 from the field, but he's done a good job.
1 of 2 from the line as well. Mark Plansky has 3 points. The Villanova lead is 12. It's 30-18. The Wildcats have jumped all over the Hokies here in Baton Rouge. Back after this. 12. Brown down low along the baseline. No place to go. They kick it back to Wilson outside.
Virginia Tech in the man-to-man. They're really sloughing off on the inside back there and trying to come up with the steals. But there's someone lost that offensive player there in the corner.
Nobody on Mark Plansky. He says, I'll take the baseline jumper, and does. So Mark has 5 points.
He's running the offensive patterns well. They're calling his number every time down, and he's looking for the shots. I think they might go for the last shot here with 38 seconds to go.
About a 1 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, and Wilson will take some time off right now.
Virginia Tech in the man-to-man defense. They'll stay in that and try to force a bad shot. That's the only thing they can do here.
Jensen, the leading scorer in the first half with 12 points. Colbert leading the scoring for the Hokies. He has 8. Brown to Plansky. Fadeaway jumper is no good, and he traveled with the ball.
That's not the shot they want. Still plenty of time with 4 seconds to go to get a better shot than that.
Crashing the boards. A foul has been called against Virginia Tech. It's either against Caesar or possibly Anderson. We'll see which. It was Anderson that picked up the foul.
Well, Beecher shot the fall-away jump shot from the corner. They still had a little time left that they could work the ball around and possibly come up with a better shot than that.
R.C. Massimino now in the lineup. We have not seen Dwight Wilbur, and there's a good possibility with his ankle injury we will not. Or knee injury, sorry.
Yeah, as long as they have this lead, we won't see him.
So R.C. Massimino, yes, the Trolley's son comes on. Massey at the line. He's 2 of 2 this afternoon. Does not get the roll on that one. Anderson throws it away at the final buzzer. So that's it. The first half is over here in Baton Rouge, and Villanova leading all the way for Rolly Massimino, trying to keep that record perfect of never having lost an opening round game in postseason play under Rolly Massimino. They will go to the locker room. Villanova 34, Virginia Tech 22. We'll be back after these messages and the local station break. We'll look for something that's not there, and you make mistakes.
Well, you're right, and that's what they're doing right now. Just not using real good judgment on shots or passes. The ball game right now.
17-point Villanova lead.
Villanova looking inside, trying to get the ball in there to Presley, and he's doing a pretty good job posting up. Burgess playing him tough defensively.
West knocked down and tied up. Possession arrow, it will stay Villanova. For the Wildcats that concerned yesterday, but so far Charles Moyer,
no matter what I said,
they have not been able to stop him. Wilson has done the job that he was supposed to do.
Well, he has, and he's played with a lot of experience and a lot of poise in this ball game, and his first trip to the NCAA, and he's doing a great job.
Plansky with 7 points. You know, Mark doesn't really want to shoot, it doesn't look like, but sometimes he has to.
Well, he's so wide open, he just has to put it up there.
Curry from way outside, that's short. Beecher bangs up for the rebound, shoots, scores.
Need some more of that. Virginia Tech needs to get some second and third shots and then convert them when they get them to get back in this ball game.
Well, one of the reasons Villanova got off with a quick lead was just that, defensive rebounding. They quickly stretched their margin. Right now it's 48-31. 17-point edge, 13:50 left in the game.
Wilson's so quick. Caesar trying to guard him, and he has his hands full every time.
Well, he's tried it both ways. He tried pressuring him. Now he's trying to play off him a little bit, and neither one's working. Knocked away, right back to Wilson. The ball is bouncing Villanova's way.
Every time Villanova comes up with the loose ball.
Only 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Wilson will kick it to Jensen. His shot rattles out. Follow, good. Mark Plansky, big game for Mark. He now has 9 points.
Nothing going right for Virginia Tech, 50-31.
Burgess picking up Presley. He easily moves it across the timeline, keeps his dribble. Jensen steps in to call timeout. 11 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the game. And with timeout on the court, our score is Villanova 50, Virginia Tech 39. Back right after this. Points in the game. 11 points, the difference. It's 52-41.
You see Virginia Tech every now and then trying to front Wilson and not let him have the ball. Wilson's so quick, has been able to come up with it every time, and then he gets into that half-court game running the offense. Very difficult to guard him with foul. Burgess seemed to be holding some ice up to his lip. Maybe he got an elbow in there.
Curry with the rebound after West could not get the roll. Wilson diving for a steal. Curry will track it down. Now 2 Wildcats down on the court. The advantage at the other end. And a traveling violation. They had like a 5-on-3, and Anderson was called for a travel.
Well, Virginia Tech,
Jensen back 3-on-2. Harold Presley with a slam.
Well, and that's the way to handle the four-court pressure. Keep that ball moving.
He is playing with 4 personal fouls, as he has been most of the second half. Villanova has led from the beginning here in Baton Rouge. I'm John Sanders with Jack Gibbons, and it's the Wildcats trying to defend that NCAA championship. Up by 11. Here's West, the freshman, along the baseline. He hits. Doug has 9 points.
Well, he has played well in this ball game. Defensively, offensively, and done a good job rebounding as well from that guard spot.
Colbert double teamed in the corner, gets it back to George Caesar. Here's Bobby Beecher's jump shot. Off the front of the rim, tipped up by Curry. He goes up, missed the shot. He hits the deck and draws the foul.
Tech has had such good position on the inside rebounding, and instead of screening out, they've just tried to outleap Villanova. The ball takes a bad bounce, and Villanova comes up with the loose ball.
They reset the shot clock and reset the offense for Villanova. Steele, West trying to get it back, commits the foul. That'll be 4 on the freshman from Altoona. Jensen ahead. He has it behind Curry. Lays it up and in. 20 points for Harold Jensen.
Shot selection right now not very good for Virginia Tech. I think they're trying to do it too quick.
6 minutes exactly remaining in the game. Back to a 15-point Villanova lead. Underneath, Beecher all alone. Good feed that time from Colbert.
Now that's the shot they need right there. Jensen with 20 points in the game. 10 of 16 from the field.
Seems to wait for tournament time, doesn't he?
Well, he does.
He really heated it up for Villanova last year. A big factor in the fact that they were able to beat Georgetown. Of course, they shot 78% in that championship game a year ago. Back on the road to the Final Four once again, hopefully, for Villanova.
And there's another bounce, and Villanova comes up with the loose ball once again.
And Rowley says, start it over. Back it out. We've got 45 on the clock. Let's do it all again. Plansky tries to go inside. It's tipped away. At the other end, it's Colbert with Plansky to beat. Gets the basket in the foul by 10. They haven't been able to get over that hump, get inside that 10-point mark.
Oh, they haven't. Presley with now 14 points, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 of 9 from the field. He also has 9 rebounders. He's just does it all for
just
Villanova.
An average day at the office for him.
Yeah, right.
Averaging almost 17 points and 10 rebounds a game. Bending in.
Both go into the line.
Plansky 1 out of 3 at the line. Beecher rebounds. Again a chance for the Hokies to cut that lead under 10.
Well, they need to work the ball around, get the ball inside.
Anderson from outside. And it's down to 8. George Caesar will try to put the pressure on Kenny Wilson. You see Wilson staying away from that sideline where there's a possible double team. Plansky to Presley. West.
And Villanova handling this pressure very well. Moving the ball around, not getting trapped in the pressure defense.
There's West in the lane. Jumps it up and in.
Great outlet pass. Presley with the 2 points on the break.
He's matched his season average now with 17. 68-58 Villanova. Dayton for helping us with our stats this afternoon, and Charlie Henscom, who has been our stage manager, and of course John Crow and the crew in the truck. Thank you, gentlemen. For the freshman, that's 2 above his season average. Gets both, now 11. 10-point difference. Colbert has tried to do it offensively. Beecher with a follow, won't go. Colbert again gets the basket.
Can't seem to catch up with it.
Presley. Now Jensen. 25 seconds left in the game. Shot clock is off. Look at the ball movement by Villanova.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be done right there. Keep the ball moving. Don't give them a chance to come up with the foul. If they foul you without the ball, it's going to be two-shot foul, and Villanova moving the ball around. They're not going to.
Presley misses, but Villanova gets it back. They've done that all day long.
Well,
First time that Presley has missed at the foul line. Counted down for another 10 seconds, and Villanova headed for a match with Georgia Tech on Saturday here in Baton Rouge. That'll be the second-round game.
A well-coached team right here. We saw that in Villanova. Moved the ball well, kept their composure, did not lose the cool when Virginia Tech made that run at them, as we knew they would.
And Rowley will clear his bench. R.C. Massimino coming on. Steve Pannone as well. All the substitutions checking into the lineup now, as well as Pat Enright for Villanova. I want to make sure Wyatt Maker is set to come in. Also, the big man off the bench, 7'1", high C Chuck Everson is in. Rolly Massimino on his way to his 251st victory in NCAA play. Looking for victory number 14. The Wildcats would be 14-5 in NCAA play. Of course, 6 big wins last year, taking them to the championship. Plansky 1 out of 2. Pannone with a follow. Everson keeps it alive. That's it. It was all Villanova. Rolly Massimino congratulating the Virginia Tech players. Del Curry got in foul trouble early. That caused problems for Chuck Moyer and the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And the final is 71-62. The biggest lead was 19.
121 of this one. St. Joe's up by a deuce. It'll be their ball. Richmond with that timeout. The Richmond Spiders have 2 left. St. Joe's has 3. Mike Lorman along with Ron Perry. This one has gone back and forth all afternoon. Richmond probably with more time on top in the scoreboard. But St. Joe's has come on strong here at the end. The final from play this afternoon, Illinois winning big over Fairfield. So the Big Ten team advances. A fine season for Mitch Bonagura and the Fairfield Stags.
Both teams in the bonus situation. Look for Richmond to try to get the quick steal. If they can't get it, St. Joe's will be going into a patient offensive set. Jeff Arnold has struggled in this ball game. Normally a good free throw shooter. He may be the one that Richmond will reach in on.
Martin gets it ahead to Malay, right back to Arnold. 35 seconds now on the shot clock. You see the game clock in the lower right-hand corner.
Richmond extending their 2-3 zone. It's been packed all day.
Martin down in the corner. Woolfolk out on him. Looking inside for Blake. Now they skip it to Malay. Near steal by Beckwith. Martin, good feed to Blake for 2. Again, a nifty pass out of Maurice Martin.
That's happened a couple of times. Out of timeouts.
Kratzer down low, hits. Quick basket by Steve Kratzer, and Dick Tarrant uses another timeout. Richmond now with 1 left. Still a 2-point game, but now only 37 seconds on the clock. Manager Tom Benzel. From Richmond University, the athletic director Chuck Boone, head basketball coach Dick Tarrant, and his staff, along with sports information director Barry Barnum. From St. Joe's University, the AD Michael Schultz, head basketball coach Jimmy Boyle, and his staff and sports information director Robin Deutsch. Transportation arrangements made through Fugazi International Travel, the official travel agency for NCAA championships.
I think it's a good idea to have a big man on the ball. This way Malay has a clear lane to see.
Malay, a little time. Did he get it in?
That's a 5-second call. Oh, he calls the timeout. Let's see. You have to get the timeout in before the referee strokes the 4th second tick. We'll see if he got it in. He did.
Jim Boyle wasn't sure, but he did.
Neither way. Just 3.5 he got it in, Mike.
All right, it was right at 3.5. I'll buy that. 37 seconds. We've got a timeout on the floor. 57-55. St. Joe's by 2. 37 seconds left. Richmond needs the ball. Comes to Arnold. Beckwith will chase, and Beckwith does not want to pick up the foul. He's got 4. Someone's going to have to come out after Malay.
Flint might not be a bad man to foul either.
There's the near steal, out of bounds. It's going to be St. Joe's ball. Woolfolk nearly come in the game. Comes into Maurice Martin.
He ought to hold on to it and try to draw the foul.
Someone's going to have to go at him, and they give it a Beckwith, and that'll be 5. I'm not sure that Dick Tarrant wanted Greg Beckwith to be the man, but the 5'10 senior, who is the all-time assist and steal leader for Richmond University, may have played his final basketball game.
Tough position to come into. Martin has to make these. No one in the lane for St. Joe's. If he misses, Richmond will run. But he doesn't.
19 points now for Maurice Martin.
Clutch basket.
He and John Newman of Richmond have indeed lived up to their clippings. 3 points. St. Joe's lead. 4.
Richmond will still try to push it and get the easy one and call their final timeout.
Rodney Rice looks for the shot. Nails it. There's the timeout with 9 seconds on the clock.
Still a lot of time.
All right, final 9 seconds set to go. 59-57. St. Joe's with the lead and the ball. Foul off the ball, and it's going to be called on John Newman as they tried to trap Maurice Martin into the charge, and it didn't work. So Newman picks up foul number 4, and not the man that Dick Tarrant would like to have on the line. Maurice Martin, who buried his last 2 and has got 20 points on the 2 biggest free throws of the year for the young man.
No hesitation. He's made 3 big ones in a row.
He's just buried them, too.
He's reaching out for the ball. You know, when the player reaches out for it, he really wants it.
Back rims that one off to Rice. Up quickly, here comes Rump. He'll go coast to coast. It goes down.
No timeouts.
No timeouts left. 59-60, and St. Joe's is going to advance here in the first round of the NCAAs at the Carrier Dome. Back and forth, these 2 teams went all afternoon long, and St. Joe's emerges with the win, 60-59. So the Atlantic 10 champions will move on in the NCAA tournament. 26-5 now the record for St. Joe's. A game in which Richmond really led for a good portion, as they had 6-point leads and 4-point leads for a good part of the first half and for a good part of the second half, really. And then a couple of costly turnovers around the 3-minute mark of the second half allowed St. Joe's to come back from down 6 to get back even. They went ahead. And then St. Joe's able to hang on down the stretch. Some very, very clutch free throw shooting out of Maurice Martin, who finished up with a game high for St. Joe's, 21 points. Rodney Blake, a fine effort. He had 13. And Wayne Williams, the man off the bench for St. Joe's all season long, did not let down this time as he came off and chipped in 14 points and about 4 or 5 rebounds. The winning head coach in today's first game, Jim Boyle of St. Joe's, and he's on the floor right now with Ron Perry. Ron?
Not an easy win at all. Jim Boyle with me, the winning coach from St. Joe's. A 1-point job over Richmond. Very tough, hard-fought game.
Well, Ron, we expected it to be just about like that. We were hoping that we could get the tempo up a little bit, but they did such a good job defensively and on offense that we couldn't knock it off center. So really, they controlled the game, and we were lucky to win.
Well, we talked a lot about Richmond's patience in the game, but I thought your team exerted and exhibited some very good patience of your own.
Well, a little more than we wanted, really. We would have liked to have had more shots. But we're delighted to get another game out of this. We've played well all year, and we're very proud of the team.
When you call those timeouts down the stretch, is Maurice Martin's name coming up?
Well, as you saw, yeah, we want the ball in his hands as much as possible, and I think that down the stretch, he made all the key plays for us today.
What'd you say to your kids at halftime? It was a very half-court tempo in the first game. Both teams shot it pretty well. What kind of message did you have for them going out for the second half?
Well, I thought that we could cover a few more loose balls. It was not a happy message, really. I thought that we were a bit lethargic and that we had to play a more aggressive second half, and I think we did.
I thought the defensive intensity really did pick up at times for you in the second half, and you made a couple of adjustments to really go into the man-to-man set.
Well, we were very afraid of Newman. He's a great young player. He's going to be a pro, I think, as a second guard or a small forward, and he had 14 at halftime, so we were very concerned about him. And as I said, we're happy with the results, obviously.
Coming into the ball game, did you expect to have a big game out of Rodney Blake inside? He was his normal intimidating force defensively, had a couple of good moves on offense, too.
Well, on defense, Rodney is a force, and on offense today, I think that we tried to get him the ball, but they did such a good defensive job that it was difficult to do. I think that normally he would have had a few more field goals, but I think he played a very good game.
Jim, congratulations.
Thanks, Rod. Good seeing you.
Jim Boyle, the winning coach for St. Joe's. Back to you, Mike.
We're in the ball game, 60-59. St. Joe's coming away with the win. They will advance in the NCAA tournament, and Richmond goes home. A fine year, though, for Dick Tarrant and his club. They finish up at 23-7.